much for braving the winter storm, because I don't know where you came from. But I know that Bob and Rachel came from Manchester, and it's winter out there, and it's cold. And for you to show up is only special and amazing. So thank you. And I want to say welcome to BIPOCA Incubator and Gallery, Black, Indigenous, People of Color, Arts Incubator and Gallery. And we work with artists who have historically been underserved, unseen, unheard, and or exploited, to help them get their art out, whatever that is. If it's culinary, if it's jewelry design, if it's fabric art, if it's visual photography. If you want to pursue it and you want to really do that, then BIPOCA will help you. How we do that is we do workshops, we try to attempt to take pictures of you, pictures of your work, and try to help you move forward. So that's what we do. So every piece of art that you see on the walls that is not from the Death Row Project is a part of BIPOCA. All right, so thank you for coming in. The next thing I want to do is, before we really get started, I'd like to introduce the person who put this all together and is really behind it. Her name is Rachel Gross. And Rachel is trying to stand in the background, like on the side, like she didn't think she was going to come up here, but that's not what's happening. Rachel, people have been sending Rachel art for over 40 years. Inmates on death row have been sending her art for over 40 years. She's a special person. You don't just send art to people for 40 years, okay? You do it because that person accepts you. You do it because they take your art. You do it because you know they're for you, and she's for you. And so I would like for her to say something really quickly. I know she didn't expect that, but she is. And then we'll introduce the death row survivors.
Well, I'm just really grateful to Clydia for making this possible. This space is just a great space to have this exhibit. And I'm so glad that this art finally made its way out of my file cabinet and into frames and on the walls. And glad that you all could be here today. I also want to say a word just about, there's a little information over by the door from the Indiana Abolition Coalition, and really encourage people, if you live in Indiana, this legislature's been considering some death penalty related bills this year. And one of them might be for abolition, and we'd be really glad if that could happen. So, yeah, thanks for being here.
Evening is so special for us because we are able to have two survivors from death row here. Two survivors from death row. When you go death row, you don't come out. But today, we are lucky to have two death row survivors. Omowale Olafin, Omowale Ketu Oladuwa. Lamont, I'm sorry, tell me your last name.
Hunter.
Lamont Hunter. Quickly, both a trained journalist, and he will be tonight interviewing Lamont, and they will be having conversation. So, thank you for coming, and here we go.
Thank you for being here. I won't be interviewing Lamont. We will be having a conversation. There's a difference between an interview and a conversation. Before we start, I must prepare the space, because the work that we will be doing is root work. It's the work of going deep, bringing our truest energy to the surface. And to do that, we need the assistance of our ancestors. And so I'm going to begin as I always begin, with a little bit of breath through the flute. I don't play it, I blow in it. What comes out is what's meant to come out. I will then sound the singing bowl and then pour libation for our ancestors. For those who don't know, libation is an honoring of those who come before you, those who have given you the strength and the presence to be who you are today, here in this space now. Those who have carved the path for you to sculpt your identity. That said, and now as I pour, call out the names of any of those who you want to remember and to remember. Remember and remember. Carrie Taylor, John Taylor, Margaret Fisher,
Edith Brown,
Tyrone,
Crystal Brown,
Thelonious Monk, George Jackson, Che Guevara, all the victims of the Middle Passage, all those who chose to jump ship, all those whose names we do not know, but whose presence we remember. Peace, peace, and gratitude. Peace, brother.
peace be unto you.
How you be, man?
Oh man, I'm making it.
How was your trip here? You come all the way from Cincinnati?
Yeah. We got a rough start. we had to start. We had to hit the road a little later than we expected, that we planned.
Okay.
But it's okay.
Where you want to start this, man?
Wherever you like.
Okay. Tell me about your childhood.
My childhood. Oh man, my childhood actually I had a really good childhood. I was born into a great family, a good family, real great family. You know, we wasn't rich. You know, we was rich in love. We had our dysfunctions just like any other family, but
What made it good?
I guess the world was a different place back then.
When is back then?
I was born in '68, so through the '70s and '80s, I came up.
Okay.
But the world was a different place, as you know. And my parents, man, they made it good for us, me and my siblings. I had 3 older siblings, 3 older sisters, 1 older brother, and 1 younger brother.
Okay.
And if you ask me, man, I didn't know we was poor. I mean, I had a normal life, childhood.
Okay.
It was good.
I'm gonna stop you there.
Normal.
Yeah.
I knew you was going to say. Well, it was a good one.
Okay.
I was.
Children?
I'm sorry.
What did you do as a child? How'd y'all play?
Outside,
Okay.
getting dirty, running through the woods, riding bikes, fixing bikes, and making what we call go-karts back then.
Oh, I remember.
You remember those? Just doing little boy stuff,
Okay.
young boy stuff, man. And my parents provided a very nurturing and protective space for us.
Stable space.
Stable.
Okay.
My parents was very salt of the earth people.
Okay.
Worked hard for everything they earned. My father is from Meridian, and his family's from Meridian, Mississippi.
Mississippi.
So by the time him and his siblings get to Cincinnati, up north, they off and running. They was working on their grandfather's farm sharecropping in Meridian, Mississippi. So
Okay. When did they come? When did he come?
I think it was like the
Pre-World War One?
I think it was in
World
the
War
50s. I think it was in the 50s, like
After the war.
past
Okay.
uh
During the Civil Rights era?
yeah.
Okay.
Um,
It was dangerous in Mississippi during the Civil War.
Absolutely.
It was always dangerous in Mississippi.
absolutely.
But it was dangerous in Mississippi during the Civil Rights era.
Yeah.
You might have been, was your dad a refugee from the...
No, his parents were off of plantations down there,
Okay.
and his grandparents. He was working the farm for his grandparents, sharecropping down there,
Okay.
and they were trying to escape. They were, and his mother and father came up north and start sending for their boys and daughters. How it's done. My father, he had a 3rd grade education. First of all, let me start by speaking on this man's name. He's my hero.
Okay.
Not a hero out of a comic book. Real life hero.
Okay.
Mine. He, like I said, he had a 3rd grade education, and he built a life. Him and his wife, him and my mother, built a life for us, me and my siblings.
What's his name?
My father's name?
Yeah.
Leevale Hunter,
Leevale.
but they called him Bo.
Bo?
B-O. Bo. My mother's name is Harriet, and they called her Cookie. He was about 6'4". She's like 5 foot. But anyway, yeah, man, my childhood was good, man.
Okay. Now, in our initial conversation, you talked about your dad showing you how to do things with your hands.
Absolutely. Everything that man earned, everything that man had in his life, he earned it by the brow, sweat from his brow and his hands, hard work. I was no stranger. He had me on the construction site at 12 years old. but I looked up to my dad. My dad taught me everything. My father taught me everything: how to fish, how to hunt, how to you name it. Be mechanically inclined with my hands, fixing stuff around the house, the cars, you know. Just by watching him, I wanted to be like him, you know.
Okay. You were born in 68.
Yes.
I was born in 45.
Wow.
That's what I said.
And Cam, I'm gonna stop
Yeah,
you right there.
oh, no.
He don't look 81 to
Come on,
to me. I mean, you don't, man.
Well, the bones tell another tale. I was born in March of 45, just before the war ended. Mm-hmm. My mom was 16 years old and had the presence of mind to deliver me into the arms of an elder in the community that took care of me and became my mom, my spiritual mom. So my birth mother is Margaret Fisher. My spiritual mother is Carrie Taylor. She was married to John Taylor. Carrie was born in 1878.
Wow.
John was born
Reconstruction era.
in 1880, just after Reconstruction. They came north. She came north from Virginia somewhere around 1900 and went to work domestically for families in Brooklyn, New York. John was born in New Jersey, Jersey City, New Jersey, and was raised in an orphanage. I don't know if he ever knew his parents. They were, and let me be clear, Carrie was, my stability, still is my stability.
Absolutely.
She provided unconditional love. She provided all that I needed to go through the trials and tribulations that took me to death row and to come out of there. But the community that I grew up in was a village, man. I grew up in a village.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I grew up in a village with other nut-butt little children who wanted to do all the mischievous stuff that we could. And we did that. We did that so well.
Right.
That by the time I turned 16, I had to get out of town. Okay. So at 17, I joined the military. Went in the Air Force. Stayed 2.5 years.
Wow.
On February 5th, 1965, I walked into my commanding officer's office, Lieutenant Munns, and told him, Lieutenant Munns, if you don't let me out of here, I'm going to kill you. A week later, on Lincoln's birthday,
Discharge
I was liberated.
On Lincoln's birthday.
That's another whole story.
That's ironic.
But I point that out for a later part of the conversation.
Okay.
From the time that I was a little bitty something, I came to carry in John's house at 3 months old.
Wow.
That situation with the Air Force was just one in a long line of things that happened with me during my maturing years that pointed to my relationship with the ancestors. It wasn't something that I could accept or even understand at that time.
Right.
Growing up in a foster home, I was a foster child. Growing up in a foster home, what the conversations were in the house were not about the family, okay? And with them coming post-Reconstruction, World War I, the Depression, and then World War II, there wasn't much of the past that they really wanted to talk about.
Right.
Okay.
A lot of trauma there.
So that trauma that was unintentional was passed on. Okay. So by the time I was 21 and ready to meet the man, I had no real understanding of how to do that, how to confront the system. Okay. But we jumping back and forth.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
High school.
For me, that mischievous, that mischief that you was talking about, I did a lot of that. Got away with a lot of it, but a lot of it I didn't either. High school was an experience for me, a rebellious state in my life. You know what I mean? From this good family that I was born into, I was rebelling, you know, trying to figure who I was in this world, you know?
Yes, indeed.
So I did a lot of mischievous things, got kicked out of high school, right before graduation. And did a lot of rebelling and trying to figure out who I was and what was my place in this world. Like any young man, you know.
So when you got kicked out of high school,
right,
what'd you do?
went to work.
I can imagine.
He was adamant that either that or go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there ain't no freebies around here. The world got much worse for you out there. So, but yeah, so I went to work doing construction work.
Okay.
And right around then, I had my first child. My girlfriend at the time had my first child. My first child was born in 1988. Responsibilities, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't born until 88.
Okay.
So, but the girlfriend that I was with at the time, I was just trying to figure myself out. I wasn't ready for a relationship, or a serious relationship, or a child, for that matter. But yeah, I was just hanging out, man, and trying to earn some money to survive. Again, coming from this good home, good parents that taught me morals, integrity, standards in life. Chose to rebel and go out in the streets with my friends and cousins, and started selling drugs.
This is the 90s.
Yeah. The late 80s, early 90s. That crack era was prominent in the communities. So, along with that comes a lot of trouble. Police, first and foremost, it's illegal.
Right.
People in the street, guys are trying to rob you.
Right.
The whole shebang comes along with that. So I eventually got caught and had to go to penitentiary.
Okay. How long did you do?
Close to 4 years. The feds got me.
Oh.
Yeah, the feds got me. I had to do like close to 4 years. And that experience helped me in my journey to find out exactly who I am. the purpose of the lesson I got, but the lesson itself I didn't.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because my behavior really didn't change. You know, I went right back to it. But it taught me, the purpose of that lesson taught me a little bit more about myself.
Okay.
Now I got, let me see, at that time, 3 children.
Oh.
Responsibilities, mouths to feed. The feds, when they come, you know, they snatching up everything. You know, and you know, went from living this good life to, you know, man, hey, can you robbing Peter to pay Paul?
Brother, can you spare me a dime?
Absolutely. And yeah, it was humbling, a humbling experience.
Hold on.
So
Hold
okay.
up. During that 4 years, what did you do in the pen?
A lot of nothing. It's not much, you know, it's not a lot. But I will say this: I did earn I got the paralegal degree on death row. Surveyors do. They survey the land.
Okay.
I earned a certificate in that.
So you learned the skill,
Absolutely.
but you didn't learn anything about yourself.
I learned a little bit.
A little bit.
I learned some of the wrong things
Okay.
about, you know, how not to get caught the next time.
Uh-huh.
You see what I mean? So my mind still,
your mind-
still a lot of stinking thinking in my mind.
Okay. How much time between getting out and death row?
Years?
7 years.
Let me see. Yeah, I went to death row 07, but I got charged in 06,
Okay.
January.
Okay. What were the circumstances?
Of the death row case.
Yeah.
So the death row case was about my stepson falling down a flight of stairs in the kitchen to the basement and succumbing to head injuries that he sustained falling down these steps.
And he was how old?
3 years old. And it was me, him, and my 9-month-old daughter, the only ones in the house.
Okay.
And so my girlfriend, who I lived with at the time, was at work. And I decided to pick up that morning where I left off the night before, and that was with chores. It was January, it's wintertime. So in the wintertime, the work that I do, I work for an asphalt company and a
Okay.
seal coat company. We're laid off in the winter months. It's seasonal. And so I'm home. So I picked up where I left off at the night before doing chores.
Okay.
And where I left off the night before was laundry. So I get Trustin, that was his name, situated in my favorite recliner in my living room. Tried to give him some sausage, what was those little French toast sticks, in his little sippy cup, and got him situated. And he loved dinosaurs and trains, and I put on his favorite movie, which was Jurassic Park, and he settled down. So I'm going about my day, and I grab my 9-month-old daughter and take her downstairs with me where the laundry room was, and I had a man cave down there.
Okay.
Over in the area. In the man cave, I just sat her over in that area where it's carpeted and safe. And I went to the laundry room to do laundry. As soon as I get over there, I hear Trustin footsteps running across my dining room and kitchen floor. And the next thing I know, he come tumbling down the steps. Man. Every time I talk about this, you know, I see Trustin. So he's laying there in a bad way. But I didn't see the beginning of the fall because of how the house is built. The top of the steps is above. It's a little wall. But anyway, I heard him and I seen the last of the fall, and I seen him laying there in a bad way. I run over to him and like, Trustin, get up. Are you okay? And so I scoop him up because he's laying there and his eyes are fluttering like in the back of his head. And so I snatch him up And in the shock, I just run up the steps, like, trying like that'll reverse it or something. I just ran up the steps with him and took him into the bedroom. The bathroom. Tried to splash water on him because he in a bad way. And by this time, I get up to the bathroom, splashing water on him, like trusting. I notice his breath. He's struggling to take a breath. So I lay him down on the carpet in the living room and start trying to do CPR. I don't know how to do. I'm still not trained in CPR. So start trying to breathe in his mouth. I open his his mouth up, try to breathe in it and hold his nose, push on his chest. And when I did that, when I opened his mouth, I noticed he had a piece of the sausage that I had gave him lodged in the back of his mouth. So I had to pluck that out and and ran and got the phone real quick because his eyes are still fluttering. And I called his mother. She worked a block up the street at the Speedway, and she drive home real quick, and I called 911, and the paramedics come, take him and to the hospital. And when he presented, he was in a bad way. It was brain damage. While we're waiting in the emergency room, the hospital detective, I think they presented themselves up, said that they wanted to talk to me. I said, sure, about what? They said, you was the only person there. You need to tell us what happened. And I said, exactly what I just told you. And they said, well, his injuries are not matching up to a fall down the steps. So I said, I don't know what to tell you. Well, what story do you want me to tell you? That's what happened. And so that's how my journey to death row began. They 2 days later, Trustin's mother decided, which I was against, but it's her decision to pull the life, take him off of life support, and donate his organs to science. And when she did that, they had a warrant for my arrest, and I turned myself in, and they pursued what they pursued. It's another. So when he by the time we get to this part, now I'm locked up. They lock me up, charge me. When I get to the county jail, they got me in a hole because I got a death penalty charges on me. Mm-hmm. And while I'm in the hole, like it's a unit, a pod, a unit. Now you're locked in your cell like 23 hours a day, out, shower, phone, and all of that. It's a TV hanging in the wall, just like that over there, and everybody whose cell was on this side of the unit could stand at their door and see the TV. They got the TV on blast so you can hear it. And I'm doing that. I could see the TV. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. I'm in a haze, and my face pop up on the TV, and the charge is read: aggravated murder, child endangerment, and rape. What? And rape. I'm like, what? Wait, they messed up. That's a typo. As soon as I got out on the range to get the phone, I called my family. My mother, everybody panicking. I said, well, wait a minute. Did y'all see me on the news? They said I got a rape charge. And then the indictment came two days later, okay. and it wasn't a typo. Mm-hmm. Now the lawyers come. Now the lawyers come.
Lawyers?
Yeah, the lawyers come that was assigned to me. Two of them. You know how it goes. Yeah. And they said, well, you need to explain something. I said, I don't know nothing to explain. What is there to explain? They said there was injuries to his rectum. Oh. I said, well, why are they asking me? I didn't see no injuries. I don't know about no injuries. Why they didn't say nothing at the hospital? I have to go. I have to speak. I have to jump forward. Okay. This is how I got exonerated. So we had the trial. I couldn't explain to nobody where these rectal injuries come from. I had no explanation. I didn't do it. And so it's junk science in the legal community. They use a lot of junk science. But now fast forward, I have been tried, convicted, and sentenced of all of these charges. Now, I make my way to death row. The appeal process starts, and on the state level of appeals, you have two appeals moving through the courts simultaneously. You have a direct appeal that goes directly to the state Supreme Court, and then you have this post conviction appeal that stops here and then goes to the Supreme Court. But they're moving simultaneously at the same time. Now, that took years. And still no love in the court, still no recognition of the truth. My story hasn't changed. The truth is the truth. Now, let me see. It was 2014 when my case reached the federal courts.
Now, you've been
sitting on death row.
How long?
Since 2007. 7 years. Okay. I had sat in the county jail for 21 months.
Okay.
And then death row. At this point, I had been on death row for 7 years. I had been locked up for 8 years.
So 21 months in the county jail before you went to trial?
No.
After you went to trial?
No, all of that, including trial time.
Okay.
Including trial time. And then I left out of the county jail and went to death row. Now, my case moved through, crossed the threshold from state court to federal court, the higher courts. And when I get to federal court, here come more lawyers, federal lawyers. They're singing a whole different tune. They're listening. At this point, I hadn't felt heard. You know, they're hearing and acting how they want to act and hearing what they want to hear. So when these lawyers, federal lawyers come, she's the reason I'm right here today. She's my friend. I felt heard. And I don't run around, screaming from the mountaintops. I'm innocent. You know, I just said, if the truth can be found, find it. You know, at this time, like I said, junk science in the legal community, it's called junk science that they use to convict people. That took place. Brady took place. The prosecutors was hiding stuff. But anyway, I got to get to this junk science first about the head injuries and the rectal injuries. Now, me and my federal attorneys get busy. We hit the ground running. It's a whole different ball game in federal court. You have different procedures and different laws. And if you have anything coming, they're going to give it to you. And so it took us years preparing this motion for discovery.
Okay.
You know, we asking the judge, we need discovery. We need to prove his innocence. We need to go back down to the county where this case come from. We need to go to the prosecutor's office and tell them to give us their files. We need to go to the hospital and get all those files. We need to go to Job and Family Services. Anybody who had the law enforcement, detectives, anybody who had anything to do with this case, we need a subpoena so we can go back down to the county this case comes from and get those records so we can produce evidence of our claim of innocence.
Right.
And he granted it to us because it didn't add up to him. And that's why I said when you're in federal court, federal judges are appointed to the bench.
Okay, so
they're not elected.
This is federal appeals.
I'm on this level now. State judges, they are elected to their bench.
Okay.
To their seat. They have to campaign every so years to appear tough on crime, and I ain't no criminal getting away, ain't no convict getting away.
So that's the politics of it.
Absolutely, that's the politics of it. So federal court, federal judges are appointed by the president, and they have lifetime tenure. They don't have to campaign every so many years. If you have something, if you prove something to them, they're going to give you what you got coming.
What did your attorneys prove to?
So when we went back, when he granted us discovery, one of my investigators was going through, when we got the discovery and we got these records, she had a neighbor who was a seasoned nurse, like 30-something years. She said, I need some help. I need you to help me understand this, what I'm looking at. And she went in there, and it was clear as day. The nurse in the emergency room documented something that saved my life. Now, it's a chaotic environment in this ICU room, in the emergency room. A 3-year-old boy just presented to them with head injuries, and there's not a lot of brain activity. So these doctors and surgeons, they like, it's chaotic in there. And the nurse that's on duty, she have a job to do in there too. Her job is to get core body temperature and document all of this stuff, right? In order to get a core body temperature, I learned right when I was getting out in 2023 that the procedure is to stick a gloved finger in the rectum, but that didn't cause the injuries, and she couldn't get it. What she did before that, after that, is what caused the injury. The reason for the finger inserted is for flinching to determine what type of head injury on what side is the damage. And so what she did next was she stuck a thermometer, because the doctors just like, move, we need this space, move. So she had to back up for a minute and let them do what they're doing, and they move, she'd go back in. But she did, she stuck the thermometer up in him 3 different times. And in the records, she wrote it down. It said attempted body temperature with an X and 3 times, unsuccessfully, and doctors called it off. Now back up to my trial. At my trial, the coroner comes to trial to testify and said, but what her findings was 3 puncture wounds to the rectum. So I must have done it. It was abuse. I had the language they used in my trial was, well, we don't believe he raped him penally. We believe he stuck something sharp up in him like a pencil.
Okay.
And that I killed him and slung him around like a baseball bat, and that's how he got the head injury, because he was, crying. That's how sick and twisted these people are. I told them what happened from the beginning, but they had blinders on, and they heard what it was a lot of politics going on down there in the county I come from.
Given that, what was your experience on death row with that sentence? And what was the shame that you faced?
You talking about the shame of when I went to the federal penitentiary back when I was selling drugs?
Yeah. No.
That's what I was talking about, shame.
No. The shame that you faced dealing with what you was
charged with. Like I said before, I've been in the streets. I know how to conduct myself. I sold drugs, and I've been to the penitentiary before. Going to death row wasn't my first time being in the penitentiary. So I know how to conduct myself. I know that there's rules and all of that. But I do have this sentence on me. But death row is different. Death row, everybody's a convicted murderer, aggravated murder. You can't go to death row without having an aggravated murder. And aggravated murder, it means it was a murder enhanced accompanied by another crime.
Right.
Like rape, burglary, robbery, something like that. So everybody on death row has aggravated murder charges, and I'm not saying that I'm the biggest, baddest.
No.
I know how to.
What was your experience?
I know how to demand my respect.
Okay.
Because I show everybody respect. until you give me a reason not to. So, just me being who I am, I didn't get a lot of I didn't you know what I mean? Not that I'm I'm anybody, I'm the baddest, but a person wouldn't approach me if they had the thoughts or felt a certain way. And there was, of course. Anybody would. I would. Just to be honest, I would. Before this happened to me, I thought that everybody went to, because when I went to jail, I was guilty.
But let's get past what you thought to what you experienced.
I experienced, you know what, Ketu, I still talk to them brothers. I still talk to the brothers on death row. I made some good connections on death row. Okay. And I know 2 guys that's still sitting there that's innocent. I know they're innocent. And I'm going to advocate for them brothers until I can't no more. Okay.
So but learned something about you.
Yeah.
Then.
But you know what I learned? I learned that the old saying, it's cliche, don't judge a book by its cover. You know, I also sat up close and personal with serial killers, serial rapists, people who suffer severe mental illness and don't even understand it. They're using coping mechanism trying to survive this trauma that they're afflicted, that they're being afflicted by just trying to cope. They're using all these different coping mechanisms trying to, it's eye opening what I had to sit, in and survive it with my wits.
So your consciousness opened up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You talking about the ancestors? They came to me. They told me I was coming out of there.
Okay.
The Children's Hospital's medical records on Trustin. I started having weird visions and dreams. They was coming to me. And I was excited. I hadn't been this excited the whole time I was locked up. Okay. Because the courts wasn't listening. I'm getting turned down by every court. Until there's one federal judge. As soon as my case crossed the threshold into the federal courts, I get some love. I get granted this, I get granted that, which allowed us to go get these records to prove my innocence. Okay. You know, and so we go to these departments to get all of the records, and we write a motion for a new trial down here in the state court, presented all of this stuff to the prosecutor too.
Okay, so the motion for the new trial was in what year?
22.
22?
No, 23. The year I got out, 23.
Okay.
And
wow.
So when we go back down to the county my case come from, I'm excited. You know, like I said, I haven't felt heard at this point. I felt like the truth has been buried so far that they'll never find it.
So you go into the state, back into the state court with the evidence that you have from, that you've been able to get
the
from,
discovery,
through
the
discovery.
discovery. Yes.
Okay. What happens in the state court?
So the prosecutor gets wind of it and come to death row and say, "Hey, look. We're not gonna contest your motion for a new trial. We'll join it. We agree you deserve a new trial, but we want you to take a plea. You know, we don't want this to go in front of the media."
Why did you take the plea?
I'm gonna tell you. So they joined our motion for a new trial, which is unheard of in that county. In hopes that I would just fold and take the plea. So I said, no. You know, 17 years ago, y'all was very strong in your opinions of me. Wrongfully, I might add, that I was this monster who deserved to die in the media. And you guys want me to just give you a pass and say, so that the media can't get a hold of, of this. I said, no, I'll take my chance. I want the judge to weigh in. So we go to the courts with the motion that they joined, and the judge accepted it. And all along, they keep asking me, "You want to take this plea? You can go home right now. Time served. You don't have to do nothing. Just go home." I said, "Nah, let me go. Let me talk to my family. Let me see what the judge is going to do. Because now, after the judge accepted our motion for a new trial, we move into the phase of bond hearing. A bond hearing after that. And I said, no, I'm not taking your plea, Mr. Prosecutor. I want the judge to weigh in on this bond motion. And at this time, the prosecutors had asked me like 4 or 5 different times, you want to take the plea? It's here. You can go home right now. We'll open up the door for you. Go home right now. Nah, let me see what the judge say. I want to make that decision as a free man, as outside of these walls, and consulting with my family and my legal team. Well, we're going to have to fight you on that bond then. I said, well, come on with it. The judge got to say so. So we went into the bond proceedings, and they came too. Well, Your Honor, our position is the same. We think, he's a threat to the society. He shouldn't be around children. This theater, in court. And the judge listened to him, and then it was our turn to, plead my case why I think should get bond. And then doing that to the judge said, hold on a minute, wait a minute. Let me make this clear. Now, the judge already know they asking me to take a plea. And the judge said, get the prosecutor back up here. Now, he get back up there. And he said, you said this man is a danger to society and should be around children. Am I missing something? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a plea offer on the table for Mr. Hunter? The prosecutor boldly said, yes, Your Honor, there is. Mr. Hunter won't take it. He said, okay, I just want to make sure I was clear. He said, well, how could you say this man is a danger to the community and you offering to let him out free? Just let him out there. So what something being hid? Something's trying to be, trying to hide something. So the judge granted me a bond. Unfortunately, it was too high. I couldn't make it. My family's not rich. So I had some reflecting to do, some thinking to do, and some conversations to have. And I did those. Okay. And the one conversation, I was already at the point where, here we go. Here go this bridge I talked about all these years. I'll make that decision when I get to that bridge to cross it or not.
Now you're at the bridge.
I'm at the bridge now. I talked to my family, I talked to my team. One conversation I had, particularly just pushed me over, was with my son, my junior. He said, Daddy, come on home. This ain't never, because, either I stay there for another 18 months. Now the prosecutor's fighting against me now. If you don't take the plea, we're gonna try you again. You ain't gonna be able to make this bond. We're gonna try you again. So my son said, and in doing that, there's a possibility I won't be able to sue the state for wrongful conviction.
Okay.
So my son said, Daddy, come on home. This ain't never been about no money. This has never been about the money. This has always been about the truth and you. Get your name restored back to you. And mind you, in saying that, I got his junior. His name is the same as mine. Okay. And my name has been the prosecutors plastered my name all over the news. He was 12 years old in school. And don't you know what my boy did when he got older and had his first son? He named it Lamont Hunter III. We proud of our name. Okay. And he said, come on home, Daddy. It ain't never been about no money. It's been about you. At this point, I done lost my hero now.
Your dad. He
gone. In 2018, he died. Right now.
You know that.
Yes.
Don't know
and
that.
anybody, and if me sharing my story could help anybody, anywhere, at any time, have this prevented, can prevent this from happening to them in this world, it's my duty to share my story.
Absolutely.
And speak on it and be an advocate.
Absolutely.
It's my duty. I enjoy this with a passion. But my son, man, he was the reason. I just said, you know what? At the time I was 55 years old. I'm 57 years old now. I got a lot more living to do. I got a lot more days behind me than I do ahead of me. You are so much encouraged. You are so much encouragement. But it's a lot I haven't done in my life. So a lot of people ask me, since this has happened to me and I've gotten out, why ain't you depressed? Why are you not mad or bitter? If that would have happened to me, man, I'd be bitter. I say, you know what? I ain't got time to be bitter. They done took all the energy they gonna ever get from me. I ain't get, like you just said, and giving that system back nothing. They done took all the energy I'm gonna give them. I gotta give myself some energy. I got 13 grandchildren now. I'm blessed beyond measure. And they all love their pawpaw. That's what my energy focused on. And it's they nanny. They love their nanny, boy.
Me more.
But
you say people ask you why.
Yeah, why I'm not bitter.
Why you're not bitter? That's the same question. That's the same question that a reporter from WBUR Radio asked me when I stepped off the bus in Boston Commons in 1971. Okay. My response to him was, death row saved my life. I understand who I am and why I went there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I completely
It's real
understand.
clear.
I completely understand.
You say
Because I've seen the lives. I've seen the lives that death row have saved.
Yes.
Right here, up close in front. Man, it's and I will say this in full transparency. I will not ever support the death penalty, ever, in no fashion. But some people that I met on death row should never be allowed out in society again. They're going to rape again. They're going to murder again. I know it. I got to know these guys. I didn't judge them. We dealing with a whole lot of mental illness on death row. Death row is a dark place, man. You know that. And there's new, like you was on death row what year?
66 to 71.
Different then. The country abolished the death penalty after that.
Yes.
And brought it back.
Well, they abolished it in 73, I believe it was, and then they brought it back.
Deferment.
Being clear, we need to keep things in context. When people talk about death row, they want to talk about your particular experience on death row and the trauma that you went through and the emotions that you went through and all that. All of that's the content. But you have to put things in context.
Right.
And the context is, this ain't nothing new.
That's right.
Okay? That enslaved Africans have been on death row since we were taken from the west coast of Africa.
Absolutely.
So, we have about 15 minutes left, and I want everybody to be able to mingle around. Please look at the art from the inmates. It's up on the walls, on the shelves. There is BIPOCA art mixed in, but you can tell the difference because of the cards and what they say. And let's give the death row survivors a hand one more time.